giant bottles. Welcome back to another week of the Banter Bar. This week is different, as you can see. These are all wine, I guess, right?
Yep. So would you like me to open one of these?
Yes, let's get this going.
All right, why don't you read a question for me?
In a lifetime, how many sex partners is too many? In a lifetime.
Did you want to smell the cork or anything? Are you one of those people?
No, is that a normal thing?
I've seen it a lot, yeah. Are you a wine person, Joseph?
Nope.
Would you rather drink beer or wine?
I don't know. I've never drank wine.
You've never drank wine?
I think I might have had a sip of like a wine or something, but I don't recall drinking wine.
Most of these are not high dollar wines. Most of these are extremely cheap wines. But I'm curious to see, even more so now, what you think. This is Barefoot's Moscato. I would tell you about it, but I'd be lying if I said I knew a whole bunch about wines. They're all made with grapes. I would think that the lighter wines are made with white grapes and that the darker wines are made with dark grapes. The names of them do tend to indicate whether it's a blend or the type of grape that it is or where in the world it's made. Apparently grapes are super temperamental. So depending on altitude, weather, the amount of sunlight that you're getting, it all makes a difference. So yeah.
It has a liquor taste to it. Like a little burn. Just a teensy bit.
Feels like they blended it with some type of other fruit or something. Very sweet.
Well, it says it has a... Oh, no. Never mind. They actually tell you on this bottle what it goes good with, I guess. It is perfect with spicy Asian cuisine, light desserts, fresh fruit, and mild cheeses. Tasty.
Tastes like an apple.
I see what you mean. It does taste like apple juice.
Yeah.
Tastes like a liquor mixed with apple juice.
Spoiler here. I don't normally like light wines or white wines. Tend to be too tart in a way I don't enjoy. But that's good. Like if you're wanting to get drunk on something that's sweet, kind of tastes like apple juice, that will do the job.
It's very smooth. I don't know if wines are supposed to be that way. How many sex partners are too many?
Well, I want to go ahead and give that a 6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can rate that. I'll give it a... I'll give it a 7.
What do you think about sex partners in a lifetime? Okay.
I don't have any preference. I don't think there's too many. It's just like whatever you feel. I don't know.
Do you feel like there's a difference for yourself? Like, would you put a maximum or minimum on yourself versus a partner? You know what I mean? There's nothing in the way of like double standard or anything. Like you can... Same. Yeah, I completely agree. There are a lot of guys I think would be very intimidated by a woman who's had a lot of sex partners, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't care. The people I've known who've had a number of sex partners tend to be really good in bed. So what does it matter?
I think
really, what does it matter?
I think that also differs too. Like, I don't think like, oh, the more you've had, the better you are. Like, I think it's just all on preference, man.
Yeah.
What certain people like, and you may experience someone's only had 2 partners versus someone who's had 12, and that one who had 2 is better than the one who had 12.
Yeah,
it's just
you could definitely have a natural talent, natural inclination for it. I just mean that experience tends to help, you know?
Yeah, I mean, experience does tend to help with everything.
Another thing is like, there are a lot of people who seem to think that if you have sex with someone once and it's bad, don't ever do it again.
Yeah.
I tend to find that, like, if you keep having sex with that person just to see if it evolves, it almost always does. The first time is strange and whatever. Moral of the story here, I think, is don't judge people based on the number of people that they've slept with, because it does not matter whatsoever.
Male or female.
Yes. Or a combination thereof, or whatever you identify as.
Yeah.
What we got now? Colossus. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Next question is, would you relocate out of state for a job that paid you twice what you currently make?
It's very intimidating to open bottles of wine on camera. I'm not an expert.
Red wine.
This one has a very strong, intimidating smell to it.
Oh, God.
Smoky. Not much of any sweetness there whatsoever.
No, none. That is thick, too. When you dump it out, it like just looks like...
Yeah, I can see it running down the sides of my cup when I'm done. Wines are a step up from beer with regard to alcohol content, by the way. Most beers, I think, range from like 2 to 8%, maybe 10, something like that, alcohol by volume. Actually, it may go all the way up to 14, and I think wines are 14 to 21 or 22%.
Oh, wow.
And then most anything beyond that is liquor. What would you rate this, Joseph?
That one's going to be a 1 for me.
Okay.
That was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, if you've never had wine, this is not the place to start. If you've never had dark wine, this is not the place to start. Pretty sure this is something my mom left around.
But something I do notice, that's pretty cool, is a portion of each cell will be donated to help combat global warming on this bottle.
There you go. I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I could get very drunk on it. I like the gentle smoky in it. It smells like it's going to have some sort of sweetness to it. I like that it doesn't. It didn't make me, pucker up. It wasn't as tart as I thought it was going to be.
Would you relocate out of state?
It depends on the state. Did it say anything like a dream job? It was just twice as much pay.
It's just twice as much pay. Doesn't say a particular state, nothing.
No. Not for money. I'm trying not to do things for money in my life like I did through the majority of my 20s. I'd rather just enjoy life. But I'm in a position to be able to say shit like that and still have food in the refrigerator, What about you?
I would. Not completely just going off of money, but because it depends on it does depend on the state, but it might be cool to just change up, and then you also make more money at the same time, so it's like double.
Sense of adventure?
Yeah.
And more money? Get behind it. Roll the dice.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but...
Like I said, it just depends on the state. But, yeah, I would be willing to think about it.
Well, now it's your turn. You get 3 wishes. It's American Chardonnay. These are the cheapest bottles on the table, I believe. People familiar with wines from stores and stuff would probably think it's the Barefoot. But I'm pretty sure on sale I paid like $2.50 per bottle for these. So super cheap.
Chardonnay.
Got the pinky up. Feeling fancy. Our question is, what kind of ice cream do you want off the ice cream truck? This looks almost like my water.
Yeah, it doesn't have much color to it. I was going to say that. That one's not sweet either.
It smelled kind of sweet.
So far, that first one's definitely the best. I'll give that one a 3.
I'm going to have to go 5 again. I still like the Barefoot better. I agree with you.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the last. That one was...
I'd put them on equal footing. I would much rather drink this just because it's a dark wine. But
when I was a kid, it would have been a push pop. Or like a Ninja Turtles ice cream. But nowadays, it'd probably just be a drumstick with nuts on it.
It's weird. I feel like a lot of guys, as they age, lean into the drumstick hard. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love this.
You mentioned Ninja Turtle. It made me think of the baseball. You know, was it the glove or just a baseball? Anything that had a piece of gum in it somewhere, I loved that. Yeah, the gum was always nasty. It'd fall apart, get chalky.
The Ninja Turtles with the gummy eyes.
With 2 eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Choco Taco, man. You used to be able to order them at Taco Bueno, and I was a fat ass kid that loved that. You could always get them on the ice cream truck.
Choco Taco.
That was my jam.
Merlot?
Merlot, yeah.
Okay. Right.
I got real drunk with a girl one night who kept saying Merlot, and I never corrected her because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to screw it all the way in there before you yank it out.
I expect this to be purple, by the way. I don't know why. It's not. Well, I mean, I guess. Kind of more like a burgundy.
What are you most likely to bet money on? Smells good.
Nope.
That's what I'm looking for.
That one has some kind of weird taste to it.
It's
I can't.
It's sweet, which I don't normally like in the reds, but the tartness dries your mouth out some, so that the sweetness isn't overpowering or overwhelming.
Gosh, that's definitely dry.
It's not like this where you could say a little goes a long way. You could definitely drink this bottle and be really, really drunk because it's 12.5%. Viewers out there like, I could drink 3 bottles of that shit and be fine.
I'll rate that one a 2.
I'm thinking 7. I like it. And just from my experience, I'm not getting a lot of variation. This one was different.
You know what's funny? Check this out. Give me your other cup. Tell me it doesn't taste minty now.
It smells minty. Like, all you had to do was say it.
After I drank that, and then I just took a drink of that, I feel like I threw a peppermint in my mouth.
I'm telling you, I think Moscato has some other sort of fruit in it. And I can't remember what the hell it is. But what I was saying is that most of these don't have much in the way of variation from brand to brand. You can look So what I would recommend is find like a cheap winery and try a lot of different kinds of wines, like Chardonnay or Merlot. And when you kind of like one, then start trying those types of wines by the other brands. And you'll probably find just a slight variation in one of them that you really like.
This one over here it says peach, apricot, lemon, and orange citrus.
Peach, I think, is what's coming through for me.
Yeah. Most likely to bet money on. I grab a scratch off every now and then, but most of the time I will not bet money unless I know I'm winning. Meaning...
That's not a bet, right?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So it's like if you bet me on a car part, like, or, something to do with a car, that's something I have quite a bit of knowledge in. So I will definitely take that bet. You know what I'm saying?
So you're laying in wait for an idiot that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yes. I just won $50 that way, actually. At work.
That's gold.
Yep. He's like, my brother-in-law's car is a V8. And I was like, no, it's not. Dude, they don't make V8s. He's like, well, then it's been swapped. I was like, dude, that swap's like 10 grand. Nobody swapped that car to a V8. And he's like, I'll bet you money. And I was like, okay, $100. And he shook on it. And then he was like, maybe 50. And I was like, fine, I'll let you back down to 50. But anyway, I won. Yeah. On a V8. So.
Because if you hadn't changed your bet, he wouldn't have given you anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, most of the time...
I mean, you're still a dick about it, but you...
That's... I mean, I'll bet, dude, if I'm, like...
Smart dick.
Pretty sure I know I can win.
Yeah, I feel like if I know I can win, I don't want to bet at all. What I like to bet money on... I think the closest I could say, like, to where I know I have a shot is if we're playing, like, poker. Like Texas Hold'em, if there's a competition... I can hold my own sometimes. It's a lot of luck of the draw and time and patience and not having too many bullheaded players at the table. But primarily, it's football games. I love football pots. So, and that's where people pay, like, you've got this big chart of numbers. And it's like every quarter, the last number of the score is what lands for a winner for each quarter of the game. And so people pay this little amount, but then 4 quarters, 4 people walk away with however much money was in each quarter. It's just, it's kind of addictive, and it's stupid, and it gives you an extra reason to watch the game. It's the same reason why I like fantasy football.
Yeah. That's the crappy thing about gambling, is it becomes addictive.
Well, you wouldn't do it a lot. That's the thing. And I know people who drop like $50 per square on those football pots. No, I'm talking like $2, maybe $5 per slot. So this is Fetzer's Gewurztraminer, but it is actually a type of wine. There are about 50, I think, different types of wines, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. Probably am. It's probably something stupid like 25. But Gewurz, Fetzer.
Jinkos or skinny jeans?
Okay. Well, no, I haven't already answered this. I guess I've just discussed skinny jeans in the past. So have you. But I might really hate Jinkos.
Yeah,
and you might really love them. God damn it, that smells good.
That has a certain taste, too. I can't... It's not bad. I just can't think of what I'm getting that I'm trying to think of what it is.
It's a unique flavor. It almost feels sparkling, like when it hits your tongue, it feels like it's carbonated, but it's not. It almost feels like pop rocks threatening to go off, but they're not going off. It says it has flavors of honeyed apricots, fresh peach. Yeah. Honeyed apricots. I think honey is what I'm picking up on here. It's It's a deeper, slow sipping wine. Yeah. Dude, that one's a 9 for me.
I'll give that one a 6.
So it seems like just with beer, or just like with beer, your palate leans lighter than it does into the heavies.
Yeah. So, Jinko or Skinny?
Jinko. I should preface, I don't like skinny jeans in any form. Not even on women. Not as a fashion trend, I just don't like them. Jinkos, though, I will say, those get really ridiculous really fast. I always liked that bell-bottom look from the 70s I didn't like.
Yeah.
But the way the first steps of the Jinkos go, you know how they just like flow down slightly all the way down? I always enjoyed that. I never loved like the clown shoes looking pants, you know, the ones that just go super, super wide.
Oh, I loved it.
You loved it?
I loved the whole, just they were straight flow. Bam. Like the deep, big pockets that were past your knees. You could put soda bottles in them and no one would even see you got a soda.
You could put your feet up on a coffee table and two people on the other side could stick their feet
like
in your
no
pants
one
and shit.
knew. They would be like, is he wearing shoes or not? Those are the kinds I like. Dude.
Did you ever have to staple your jeans?
No.
I guess I stayed in school a little longer than you did, but totally had to do that.
Yeah, no, I never had staple jeans. I would just walk the bottoms off of them. That was the only bad thing about Jinkos is I also liked them long.
Yeah.
So half the time, the back of my pants was under my shoe or, out in front of my shoe even.
And you skateboarded on top of all of this, which is crazy.
Dude, those were
Did
good
you sag?
pants to skateboard in, though.
They were good pants to skateboard
Yeah, the
in?
only time is, if you wouldn't do a flip, sometimes the wheel would catch your pants. And
you think it's weird that fashions have trends? Like the things go away for a long time and then they come back?
Yeah.
What if you're one of those people who just wanted to keep buying that sort of clothing and it just went away?
That's kind of how it is. It's kind of how it is for, Jinko. I look, man, you can get them off eBay. And there's certain sites that you can still get them from. DCs. Dude, they don't even sell DCs in the store now. That was one of the biggest skate shoe companies when I was growing up. They had them all through the stores, man. I never thought when I was younger, if someone was like, man, one day Nike and Adidas are going to be skate shoes, I would have laughed at you.
Our nephew went strolling through the house a few weeks back, and I looked over because it looked like he was going pretty fast. I realized his legs weren't moving because he was skating in his shoes. He had wheels on the backs of his shoes, and I thought, oh shit, that's still around. I thought that disappeared. Kids, most of the kids stuff, it still exists.
Yeah, Heelys. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the light up shoes and shit. Once you've got something like that, it doesn't really go away. But
yeah,
it's Jinko-like. But one of my favorite fashion trends for women, I remember just thinking it was one of the sexiest things, were gauchos. They were long shorts. It's super soft material, but they were Jinko-like. They fanned out like bell bottoms, even though they only came slightly past the knee. I'm ridiculous.
Maybe I kind of missed it. I don't know. Maybe I would. But yeah, Lee Pipes was another jean that was awesome.
Lee Pipes.
Probably never, people never really hear those now. But they were big pocket. They weren't as big as Jinko, but as far as the bigness of
the fucking pockets, dude. I'd not thought about pockets on Jinkos in a long time. That was ridiculous.
I had a pair of Lee Pipes. BMX is what they were called. And if you wore those today, people would be like, what the hell? They were straight 90s, dude. I'm talking, they were like that felt, like that, almost like windsuit.
Yeah.
They were pants. They had deep, big pockets. They had all these little straps on them. And they were red, white, black, and yellow.
I remember this.
Like, dude, they were...
I remember these.
They were red, white, black, and yellow. Those things were... And they said lead pipes on the back pocket. Dude, those things were cool as hell. And I had a vest that matched it at one time. I don't know what happened to the vest, but... Like, vests nowadays are, like...
ridiculous.
Weird.
You can tell we've been drinking wine. It's a little heavier in alcohol content because we just went off on Jinkos and skinny jeans.
Well, that was my air. Our air. So, I figured I'd address that. Nowadays, though, I do prefer
skinny jeans.
I mean, I don't really like tight, but, you know, you wouldn't see me walking around in Jinkos now. This one is a twist, right? But it doesn't want to twist.
Use your man powers.
There it goes.
What's the worst experience you've had involving a police officer?
Oh my gosh.
So this is Shiraz by Don Simon.
Dude, that will straight suck all the water out of your mouth.
So fresh black currant and cherry flavors with just a hint of pepper. Yeah, I could have told you this isn't for you. Supposed to pair well with barbecue. I see it. Jesus. That is a good red wine.
I'll give that one a 2.
8. Tempted to go higher, but 8.
So I can tell you right now, obviously, this is by far my favorite out of all of these. Going through all of these, I feel like this one I should have rated higher.
Of the reds, which one did you like best?
That would be that one, and that one, right?
Every other. I was trying to be nice to you.
Definitely not this one.
It has to be that one, right? Like a little bit of sweetness. This one's dry and peppery. The cherry's really the only thing that I think would hold you here.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards this one. Just to be sure.
And these two would be my jam all night long. Just leave me with these. Although I have to say, I've never had smokiness in a wine.
It's a hard choice.
Nice.
Hard choice. But I think that one's more tolerable than that last one over there.
So what is the worst experience you've had involving a police officer? I'm genuinely curious to hear about this once you come up with your answer.
Well, there's a lot. I don't know. What do you mean worst experience? Like, worst police officer I've ever dealt with? Or, like, just in general?
I mean, if you want to tell more than one, go ahead. Just what stands out? Like, there are stories that are cool to tell, right? But those aren't the worst for me. Like, I threw a fucking drink out of a bar when a bouncer tried to take the glass from me because I was leaving the bar and you can't go outside with the glass. And I chunked it out the door. And it fucking hit a police car that was driving by. And he jumped out the side and he just pointed at me and then he got back in his car and he left. But that's not the worst experience. That's just a cool experience. I'm with you. I've had lots of shitty experiences with police officers. And the good ones tend to fall under the radar because when you have a bad one, it sticks. Because you realize how powerless you are in those situations.
Yeah. I mean, I remember all my good ones, too.
Yeah.
Right now, I would have to say, when I got pulled over, I was like 15, so I didn't have a license. I had a couple people with me. We were doing things we shouldn't have been doing. Anyway, I got pulled over, and he instantly, when I tried to call my mom, he took our phones away, put them on top of the car. It was super hot that day, so we had our phones sitting on top of the hot car with beaming just sun on them, which wasn't good. And then he said that he knew we were smoking weed, so he proceeded to want to smell my fingers, which was the weirdest thing that
I've never had that experience.
ever happened. And
oh God.
He made me, I was wearing a hoodie even though it was summer, so he made me take off my hoodie to see if I was a junkie. Like, it was just all around a bad experience. And he did some things that he shouldn't have done that weren't within his legal right to do.
Right.
So, when I had to go to court on it, they threw pretty much all my tickets out. Like, the no license, no insurance, all that. The judge just basically threw it all in the trash and said, don't even worry about it.
Well, there's a happy ending to that story.
Yeah, he was a terrible cop, man. I can't imagine that he'd be a police officer now.
Well, that's a good one. Before we move on here, let's do this because we haven't been doing this and we've been meaning to. If you're watching our videos, comment your answers to our questions because we really want to talk about them a little bit from time to time. We also want to see and start a discussion. So answer any and all of these questions if you feel like it in the comments here. But definitely, if you ever had a fucking cop ask to smell your fingers, let us know because that is golden.
Dude, weird. It was weird.
Guess who my story involves? Not a cop. Obviously a cop, but who was I with?
Corey.
Yep, it was Corey. Mr.
Corey D. Davis.
Himself. Yeah. Our aunt and uncle lived right off the fairgrounds in Denton. We were a block or two from a Kroger. So we were walking down there one night to get some sodas because we were out of sodas. Right?
Oh, I know the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we go to Kroger. And we go in. We get our stuff. We leave. On the way out, 4 or 5 cops swarm us in the parking lot.
Quickly, Corey had a backpack, right? Or you had a backpack?
Nobody had a backpack, and we drove.
Somebody had a backpack.
We drove. That's what I'm misrepresenting. We drove over there in his vehicle. I think it was his Blazer at that point. But yeah, we get swarmed with cops right there at the vehicle, and they were asking where we put the backpack.
That's what it was. I knew it involved the backpack.
Now, at that particular Kroger, there was always an on-duty police officer that stood outside the store. And Corey had mentioned he knew some kid in there who was bagging or something. I think a kid that didn't like him that he went to high school with. And they kept threatening to go in and review the camp. We were there for like an hour and a half, dude. Just getting railed by these cops about a backpack that didn't exist. They kept accusing us of putting alcohol in the bag and dropping it when somebody saw us or something. So we were all about like, yeah, fucking, let's go in and look at the security cameras. We were 19, I think at the time. Couldn't buy alcohol.
Yeah.
Weren't trying to. And I remember Corey's dad got really, really fucking pissed and wanted to take like the cops to court or sue them or some sort of shit. But we convinced him not to because who the hell wants to take a bunch of cops to court in the town where you live? Not this guy. Anyway, we came, we drank, we answered some questions. Thanks for tuning in to another week.
All right. Later.
See you next week.
I'll just leave you a little sip in case you want to go back.
I appreciate the sip. I think I could drink quite a bit of this.
I just want to see how it feels in my mouth.
I guess we'll see you next time.
On the Banter Bar.